All right, I'll sort of continue with what I'll continue with kind of what I believed in 2013, and when I started believing again in 2020 when I went back to being a Marxist leftist. So in 2013, I saw the world kind of as there's four personality types: NF, idealists, first quadrant; SJ, guardian, second quadrant; SP, artisans, third quadrant; and NT, rationals, fourth quadrant. And I saw Asians as first quadrant, whites as second quadrant, black people as third quadrant, and brown people as fourth quadrant. And so, for instance, like the story where Mary and Martha, like Mary, when she goes to Jesus, she doesn't believe in Jesus. She's not sucking up to him. But Martha is sucking up to him, and she's like, I believe you're the Messiah. So I was like, okay, Martha's an SJ guardian, second quadrant white person. But Mary is a NT rational, fourth quadrant brown person. And I want to see myself as a brown person. And Mary, she does the service. She like cleans and stuff, right? And but Mary, she just sits and listens to Jesus. And I was like, okay, so Mary, she's more of a contemplative person, whereas Martha's more of a like a server. So I said she's a second quadrant: belief, faith, behavior, belonging. That's like serving. That's homeostasis. But Mary is fourth quadrant: contemplation, passion, flowing, knowing, like me, the NT, the rational. And so I was like, yeah, so basically I thought in an ideal society there would be like four castes, and the rationals wouldn't have to work, and we would just do contemplation, and we would just study and stuff. And that's why it pissed me off so much that my grandpa was trying to get me to work so much, because I was like, listen, I discovered the theory of everything. I need help. But my grandpa's like, no, he didn't believe I discovered the theory of everything. He thought, oh, you didn't discover the theory of everything. What you did is you're just trying to come up with a way to stay dependent. And if you're dependent, then you're not in the flow, because then, then you're in ally enemy software, because if your parents do what you want, then they're your enemy, but your ally, but if not, then you're enemy. And so I was like, and I wanted to see Jews as NTs and white people as SJ. So Jews as fourth quadrant NTs and white people as SJ second quadrants. In the way I wanted the white people to serve the Jews and the black people. I saw the black people as more SP artisans, the third quadrant. So I saw the Asians and the white people as more homeostasis and good, and the blacks and the Jews and the brown people as more, the artisans and the rationals. And in a way, I kind of, I kind of wanted the white people to be servants, because I was like, oh, white people are more SJ guardians, the second quadrant, homeostasis, and they should be servants. And so I was for race mixing. I wanted to overturn everything. I wanted the black man to start mixing, and I wanted the white people to take care of the black man, because I thought, okay, the black people are more SP artisans. So, they should be doing the basketball and their rap music and their art and stuff, and the white people should take care of them. So, I was for welfare in that sense. Like, I was like, yeah, they should, the black people are, they're the princes. They're the third quadrant artisan princes. And the Jews are the fourth quadrant philosopher kings. I saw the Jews as more philosophers, and the Jews should just be allowed to study the fourth quadrant, and the white people should take care of them, the white people are the belief, faith, behavior, belonging, the second quadrant. The first quadrant, sensation, perception, response, awareness. That's the Asians. The white people are belief, faith, behavior, belonging. The second quadrant. The black people are thinking, emotion, doing, dreaming. That's the third quadrant, and they're artists. So I saw the black people as artists. And I thought the white people should, give welfare and take care of the black people so they can do their art. And the fourth quadrant, rational brown people are the rationals, and that's the Jews. And I thought that the Jews should be able to just study, because in my mind, a higher percentage of Jews were rationals, and a higher percentage of black people were artisans, and a higher percentage of white people were guardians, and a higher percentage of Asians were NF idealists. I don't know if that's true. It probably isn't true, but that's the way I saw it. And I thought, the Asians and the white people they work so hard, right? My grandpa's so into working hard, and I was like, okay, well, work hard and take care of the black and the brown people and the Jews. If you guys are so into working hard, yeah, maybe because you guys are by nature servants, and the black people and the Jews are kings and princes, and you should take care of us and give us welfare so we can study, and the black people can do their basketball and their football and their art and stuff, But at the same time, I wanted race mixing. So in my idea, I was like, but in an ideal society, we would get rid of all nations. And, the only reason why there's different religions is because different ethnic groups adopt different religions to maintain their genetic distinction. But the only way to create peace is if we mix all the races in the four caste society. And once all the races are mixed, then all the religions would dissolve, because there'd be no reason for us to divide anymore. And then there'd be peace on earth. But really, I just wanted to destroy the white race because I saw myself as Jewish and I wanted the white race to be dissolved because I saw them as the biggest threat. Okay. So just some more ways I looked at the world was like I said, I remember I saw this Jewish artwork where there was a black, the first artwork was a black woman taking care of a white woman laying on the couch. But then the Jew made the artwork the opposite, with the white woman taking care of the black woman. And I was like, yeah, that's the way it should be. Because I was anti-white because I was Jewish and I wanted everything to be reversed, and I wanted the black person to start being the one who's served. And I thought I was like, well, if, white people are so into, the Fox News and the white supremacists are so into working hard. Okay, well, why don't they work hard and take care of the black people? Because maybe if they're so into working hard, they're by nature servants. So they should be serving and giving welfare to the black people and the Jews and the brown people. Really, I just wanted to destroy the white race. And again, like I said, the way I liked black people the best. The more degenerate, I liked the best. And I liked white people. I liked Asian people probably. I liked brown people the third best, Asian people the second best, Asian people the third best, and white people the fourth best. So the lighter skin you were, the more I didn't like you. As a Jew, seeing myself as Jewish, I like Tupac. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's the way I saw it. I liked the more degenerate, the more black, the better. That's the way I liked it. So just like, and it's like I'm almost laughing because it seems funny, but that's really the way I was. It's so crazy. So, but at the same time, I would be like, oh yeah, the only reason why black people are better at basketball and white people are better at, more educated is because of environment. And if we could just get black people in better environments and the white people in worse environments, and the white people would be better at basketball and the black people would be more doctors, and really it's just all environment. If we should just all mix, and race is social construction, and it's all, the only differences are, there is no differences. It's just all due to environment and all due to culture. If we just change culture. So one thing I wanted to see was okay, this is interesting. I saw Tupac as an NF idealist. And Tupac was black, right? But I also noticed that Tupac was very, he was kind of spiritual. And also, interestingly, Kanye West is an NF, apparently. And he's black, but he's very spiritual. Like, he has a song, Jesus Walks. And he's kind of religious and spiritual, right? Sometimes, right? But at the same time, they fulfill the stereotypes of their race. So the way I saw it was NF idealists were the first quadrant. And the second quadrant were the SJ Guardians. And that's the white people. So that's the Asians and the white people. And the way I saw it was the black people like Kanye West, and even Will Smith is an NF apparently, but Kanye West and Tupac, they're black NFs. So I thought as NFs, as the first quadrant, they're more homeostasis. The first quadrant and the second quadrant are more good in homeostasis. The third quadrant and the fourth quadrant are more bad in destruction. The SPs and the NTs are the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. The artisans and the rationals. Whereas the idealists and the guardians are the first quadrant and the second quadrant. So I thought, okay, well, Tupac, he kind of embodied the stereotypes of his race. So in a way, he was trying to maintain the status quo. So I always thought the first quadrant, those types of people want to maintain the status quo. And they're also more spiritual, because I always saw spirituality as more maintaining the status quo. Religious people as more wanting to maintain the status quo. And I looked at Tupac and Kanye West, and they were kind of spiritual. They had some spiritual songs, right? Kind of sentimental, spiritual. And also, even Tupac had that interview where he's kind of gay. He seems kind of gay. And I always thought that the first quadrant was more feminine and homosexual. But homosexuals I saw as more, because a lot of times homosexuals are very spiritual, right? And I thought, well, also they tend to be more homeostasis homosexuals. They're like women. They want to maintain homeostasis and they're spiritual, and kind of, not always, but I thought the same thing with Tupac, where he was trying to maintain the status quo by upholding the stereotypes of his race and being really gangsta and stuff. And he basically tried to maintain the status quo by making black people want to be kind of gangsters and thugs and more animalistic. But at the same time, he's kind of spiritual. So he was trying, I thought that NFs were more susceptible to stereotype bias and upholding the stereotypes because they want to maintain the status quo. And I thought the same thing with SJs. Whereas I, as an NT, I was I'm irrational. I'm the fourth quadrant. I'm irrational. And I see things the way they are. And I'm not spiritual. Because I see that Darwinism runs the world, and Freudianism, and Marxism, and Marx is right, and I don't believe in spirituality, because and the way I saw it was I just see people as individuals, but really the fact of the matter was I wanted race mixing because I saw myself as Jewish. So I didn't take that into consideration, but I was like, yeah, I'm an NT and I'm irrational, so I don't see things spiritually because I saw spirituality as white supremacist and religion as white supremacist. That's why I thought that Tupac and Kanye West were kind of spiritual, because they really want to maintain the status quo. And I thought that's also why Kanye West kind of acts kind of blackish, right? But it's kind of an act because he wants to maintain the status quo of black people. But he also, and maintain the white supremacy, I thought. So I always saw religion and spirituality as white supremacist. But the fourth quadrant, I was like, I'm not spiritual. Because I saw myself as Jewish, and my mom was Jewish. So I was like, okay, so a Jewish person doesn't want to maintain the status quo, because a Jewish person is degraded, right? Is seen by society as the devil, right? Especially in a Christian society. So I wanted to destroy society. But so I was against religion because I was like, I'm against the status quo. So because I'm an NT and I'm irrational, I'm not religious. So I'm not for the status quo. And the fourth quadrant is death. So I was like, yeah, I'm a knower. And I thought knowing is dangerous because I recognize that Nietzsche is correct. It's all about power. And Marx is correct. The only reason why people believe in religion is because it maintains the status quo, and they want to maintain the status quo. And I was like, and Darwin's correct. Really, religion is just an epiphenomena of genetics. The only reason why their spirituality takes root is because it helps to maintain tribal unity and prevent promiscuity, which is bad for tribal genes. So I was like, I'm an anti-rational, the fourth quadrant. So I see things the way they really are. And I'm not for the status quo. So I'm not spiritual. I want to destroy the status quo. And really, I did. I wanted the black man to destroy the white man, destroy religion, and I wanted everything to be uprooted and destroyed. So, this is kind of how crazy I saw things when I was in 2013. But when I wrote on INTP Central, you see, I'm sinister. So I tried to make it as I'm a good guy, like, I'm actually for the white people, because I was like, Jesus pretended to be for the Romans, but really he was there to destroy the Roman Empire when they, as Gibbon said, Christianity destroyed the Roman Empire. And I was like, if you really read the Bible, the high priest says, if we give Jesus to the Romans, we will be saved. And I was like, yeah, it saved the Jews because it converted the Romans to a religion that would save the Jews. So, but I was like, he pretended to be for them, kind of like how David pretended to be for the Philistines, but every night he would go out and kill Philistines. He pretended. So I even pretended to be for the white people. I was like, yeah, if we create this four-caste society and mix all the races, I'll probably mix the white race and the Jewish race the most, because I noticed that they have the most swag flow, which is true. But really, I wanted to really destroy the white race because I saw the white race as the biggest threat to the Jews. So I was kind of crazy, but I basically was teaching that religion is just a fraud. It's just a way to maintain the status quo, and it's kind of white supremacist. And I wanted to destroy all spirituality. The Salem witch trials, that was just at its root Darwinian. It was the men trying to uproot the women and take the women's property, and the women, they're scapegoats, and scapegoats become voluntary victims, identified patients, and they will adopt. It's kind of the Foucault's idea, like that the mental patients really, or even like Rosenhan, my friend Noah talked about Rosenhan, where when they put patients in psych wards, the psychiatrist's suggestibility makes the patients crazy, and it's to create scapegoats and identified patients for families. And so I'm like, yeah, the Salem witch trials, the women voluntarily became mentally ill because they needed a scapegoat for the society to maintain the religious ideologies of the society by them adopting craziness of believing that demons take them over. And that maintains the religious fervor of the society, which maintains their cohesion, which helps them to fight the Indians and maintain their genetic distinction. So I want to just uproot any spirituality and just say it's all at its core Darwinian and materialistic. So I was the opposite of Hegel. Hegel was very spiritual. I was a Marxist. I was very material. Because but at my core, I really just want to destroy the white race, mix the white race, destroy religion. And I remember I saw myself as a victim too because of the shoe-away machine and how my family kind of threw me to the side. And my grandpa had these ideas of there is no innocent victim, but I was like, your ideas are just white supremacists. I am the innocent victim. So I wanted to see the Bible as, I remember I even wrote on YouTube, in 2013, like, you know, the people who are thrown to the side, they're the greatest. The people who've been thrown to the side, like the black people, but I was thinking like the black people, the brown people, the Jews, you know, I wanted to see the victim as the best. The victim, the people thrown to the side, the people thrown to the dirt. We're the greatest. So I wanted to completely uproot my grandpa's ideologies and just say those are just white supremacists. Blame the victim, maintain the status quo. Spirituality, just maintain the status quo. I wanted everything uprooted and destroyed. So this is kind of crazy, but I'll kind of get to more how I saw things, and then in 2020 how I saw things and all that.